What's going on, everyone? Sports speculator here. It is game one, Nats and Stros. We got Scherzer and Cole on the mound. I think this World Series is just going to be dominating starting pitching performance, and then who can have, those clutch hits or those big innings in between, the scoreless ones. I would think that the Astros bats are just overall better. Um, but starting pitching can shut you down, and timely hitting, either one of those teams can do that. So I know the Astros are heavy, heavy favorites, but I hope it's a lot closer than the betting professionals in Las Vegas think that it's going to be. So I'm going to be watching that tonight. 1,000%. I'm also going to be watching Caps and Calgary as the NHL season is about 10 games underway. Let's see if we can't go to the NHL tab. That's man, the ESPN tab. It's for me. It's NFL, NBA, MLB, NCAA, soccer, MMA, and then you got to go to the ellipses and then go all the way down to find the NHL. Where's the love? No respect. Let's see here. I know for sure the Sabres are off to a hot start. Yeah, they're winning the Atlantic right now. They're 7-1-1 with 15 points. And then the usual suspects are there too, Boston and Toronto. But Tampa Bay lagging behind, one, two, three, four, fifth place so far in the Atlantic. Um, 4-3-1 with only 9 points. So, I mean, it's still way too early to kind of tell, but usually through 15 games or so, the playoff standings are going to be kind of where they're at. There might be one or two teams that kind of bubble up, or one or two teams that might, get injured and might come down. Sorry, I have a dog hair in my mouth. But for the most part, like 15 games into the season, that's kind of what you're going to get. Um, so just looking at it right now, it would Boston, Toronto, Washington, Pittsburgh, Carolina, Colorado, St. Louis, Winnipeg, Edmonton, Anaheim, Vegas, and then you have Calgary and Nashville, Arizona's, and actually it would be Calgary, Vancouver, 10, 11 points. Yeah, it would be Calgary, Vancouver, and then it would be hmm, just all kinds of ties: Islanders, Blue Jackets, Canadians, Lightning, Panthers are all within a point of each other. So I mean, who knows, honestly. But yeah, so been a good start to the season. Interesting to see if Buffalo will hang on. We'll keep track of that as the season progresses. I had said that I thought Florida was going to be, playoff team, and they're, only above Ottawa and Detroit, who are in rebuild mode like crazy. So, what are you going to do? Granted, there's six. Ottawa only has 3 points. The Rangers have 4 points. The Wild have 4 points. So those are your three worst teams in the NHL. Blackhawks only have 5 points. So, group them all in together as the bottom feeders right now. But we'll keep tabs on that. Another thing that I'll be watching out for today is the NBA tip off. Now, a lot has been said about the NBA, right? With their whole Chinese debacle, and I'm not going to get into that, to be honest with you. I'm just going to, we'll just steer clear of all of that. So I looked over, and Klay Thompson likely to miss the entire season. Um, dang. And it's not unfortunate because the NBA has kind of made the bed that they're sleeping in right now. But it is interesting where the most likely, the most open and interesting NBA season in what feels like since Jordan retired, honestly. So what are we doing? We're going back 30 years at this point. Um, because the parity in the NBA, I think, should be fantastic. Should be on par with the NHL. Um, you have KD is out for the whole year, and he went to the East. And now breaking news from ESPN.com saying that Clay Thompson is going to be out the entire year as well. So, with all the player movement and then all the player injuries, it looks like this NBA season is going to be very, very excellent. Every team has like a duo, and there's probably about like 7 or 8 teams that you could think potentially winning the NBA championship, which is always never the case. It's Golden State, it's whatever team LeBron's on. That's it. I mean, that has been the matchup. I mean, LeBron's been in almost every single NBA Finals going back to the first time that he got swept against San Antonio. It was either Kobe, Tim Duncan, or LeBron, and then Steph Curry, and those are like the only names that you would ever see realistically winning a championship. So this year, and Zion Williams is out 2 months. So that's not a huge blow, but if you get off to a really, really slow start in 2 months, you could dig yourself out of a playoff spot, I think. But I just think that both divisions are so up in the air that it's interesting. This is like the NBA season I was looking forward to the most, and then all this controversy. Like it's funny how life works like that sometimes. But let's just look at it real quick. Excuse me. Yeah, it's getting colder in the nation's capital, and I always seem to get a little snifflies or sick. Whenever that first cold hits you. Anyway, though, the East: Milwaukee, Boston, Philly, Indiana, Miami, Brooklyn, and then you have Toronto. Um, Really, I think it's those teams, right? Milwaukee, Boston, Miami, Philly, Indy, Brooklyn, and Toronto. So those are kind of, I think, the seven that are set in stone. The eighth team: Detroit, Orlando, Chicago, New York, Cleveland, Atlanta, Charlotte, and Washington. Who knows? Who cares? Honestly, I think the best team is Milwaukee. I think the second best team is Philly. I think Boston is the third best team. Brooklyn is four. I think Indiana is five. Miami is six. Uh, Toronto is somewhere in the mix there. But yeah, just that's going to be a super stacked division. I could see Milwaukee kind of running away with first place very easily, and then 2 through 5, 2 through 6 is kind of like fighting it out. Very, very competitive though. Very unlike the Eastern Conference, where there's only like there's LeBron's team and everybody else is kind of just so far behind. Very interesting. Now go over to the West. Um, Clippers, I feel like, are the favorites. Golden State, you can never count them out. Then the Lakers, they're at three, and then the Rockets, they're at four. Denver at five. Portland at six. Jazz at seven. Are the Mavericks going to make a leap with Doncic and Porzingis? That would be interesting to see. Are the Spurs going to miss the playoffs? I think the Thunder are going to be absolutely terrible. Uh, I mean, the Timberwolves are kind of young and scrappy, but I don't think they have it. The Suns are guaranteed last place in the entire NBA, so let's. Grizzlies are going to be bad as well. I don't know what their moves are. Same with the Kings. I just don't. I think the Pelicans are going to be an interesting watch, a fun watch, but I don't think they make the playoffs. Um, yeah, I'd have Clippers. You know, I want to put Golden State, but maybe not. Maybe it's Clippers, Nuggets, Lakers, Rockets, Golden State, Jazz, Mavericks, or Portland even, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's so wide open now. Um, there's gonna be 10 teams in each conference vying for that playoff position. I think it's gonna be a dogfight all year in both conferences. Yeah, I'm Normally, I kind of look at the NBA and I'm like, Golden State wins again over LeBron. Yawn, yawn, yawn. Um, Honestly, I'd been in like NBA like fatigued. I really like hadn't really watched a whole lot, not like I used to, and especially because I'm a Wizards fan and they're down, and so my interest level is already kind of like, well, my favorite team's not in it. I'm not going to follow as hard. That's always a factor too. Um, but this year, I think I'm going to watch a lot, which is kind of unfortunate because I don't really want to because of the whole China thing. You know what I mean? Like the most you can impact someone, the most impact you can have on someone is by affecting their wallet. So if you're not happy with the hypocrisy in the NBA, the best thing to do is not watch the product. Don't buy the merch. Don't go to the games. Just boycott it. But that can be said for a lot of things that we have in this company. I have Nike shoes and I have an iPad and all this other stuff. So I use Google. So it's much harder said than done. In practice, that's a very hard thing. And this year is, I think, going to be one of the best NBA seasons in 30 years. So I might just have to, talk out of both sides of my mouth, to be honest with you. And that's an unfortunate feeling. But nonetheless, the NBA season tips off tonight with two. Well, the first game would have been better if Zion would have not gotten hurt, But the second game, Lakers Clippers, you're looking at a potential Western Conference Finals preview. Um, New looks for both teams. I mean, that's a heck of a game. That's a phenomenal game. So I'll definitely be kind of like checking into that one for sure. I can't lie. I won't lie. I'm definitely going to be watching. So those are the things that I'm going to be watching today. Also, there's a UEFA Champions League. I talked about that in a previous video, but let's just see. Let's just see who plays. I know it's on TNT now, and they'll only usually give you like a couple of games. At least for me, I don't have the pass or anything. So let's just kind of see. Let's see what they give me. Let's see what's happening for soccer. So okay, so my games: Shakhtar, Zagreb, Atletico, Leverkusen. Um, so they gave me those two. Um, Actually, those are the only two, huh? At 12:55. Interesting. Let's see then. Let's see. Let's see who they give me after though. Let's see how that goes. Let's see. Um, Man City, Atalanta, and sorry about all this, guys. Maybe that's it, man. And Man City, Atalanta. So man, I would have loved Galatasaray, Real Madrid. I'm surprised that that's not. That should be. I mean, 3 o'clock. That should be the other game. I would think so. That's the. Both teams need points. Um, I'm very surprised that that game is not on. Let's see. Uh, it let me record it, so that means that it's on at some point at some channel. It's on. Let's see. Schedule. Ba, 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 ba. What channel is this on? 795. I think that's like a Univision or something. Unimas. Okay, so it's on Unimas. I take it. I take it. So I'm gonna skip the. I might put it on the background, but definitely Galatasaray Real Madrid. I'm gonna be watching that as well. So that's what I'm watching today. Very exciting day of sports. Thank you so much. Hit like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.